want to see you be creative. I want to see that about you, so I can know that's the type of realm that I'm watching. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm understanding. If I don't see that, I don't really know where to put you in a category or whatever, nothing like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
You just start doing it. You start putting it together. Yeah. Slowly and surely, like I said, this is the best time to do it. You're 16. When you older you get, lose momentum. You don't want to have. You gotta keep that like childlike spirit, just youthfulness. The I don't give a fuck mentality. Not necessarily like YN completely, but like YNs have this good mentality because ain't nobody finna tell you what you don't want to hear. You feel me? Like, if you want to do something, you're gonna do it. That's good. That's a good mentality to have. Sometimes some people take it too far. Okay, now they don't want to hear constructive criticism, or they don't want to. But it's the fact that you're willing to do things that people get now too comfortable, or people get older and now they don't want to do it, or the momentum is lost, or whatever. YN's got that good mentality, at least, because if they want something, they're gonna get it. They want to do it, they're gonna do it. So the YN ain't just about being a young nigga and not knowing shit, but it's about, you know, that mind frame of like, there's a hustle in you, there's a drive in you that's gonna determine you to get you where you want to be at. That's good. You need that for sure. Are you in social? Like, do you do social media? Are you in social media at all?
Yeah.
Do you like social media?
Yeah.
You got a gray hair, you know that?
I got a gray hair.
You got a gray hair.
That's like stretch, right?
No, not always. Sometimes it's wisdom. Like, I've always known it to be wisdom hairs. You want a picture of it?
Yeah.
Let me see your phone. Oh, that is wisdom now. See it?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Right in the middle, yeah.
The thing, if I did like 2 strands, like we were talking about earlier, all around, it would like lay down the same as it is right now.
It wouldn't lay down just like this.
Yeah.
That would be different. It would
Maybe
be
like more like lay down.
It would be more flatter. We wouldn't have to get it as flat as that other picture, because that other picture, the intended look for that was for it to be neat, right? So I'm sure they used gel and like made sure it was completely all the way. I wouldn't do that for you. We're just gonna use shea butter, so we're just gonna bring some moisture back into your hair after cleaning it. But what we would, if I were to like do that like that, I would literally just twist it, and so like the roots wouldn't be super flat. You feel me? It wouldn't be laid down how that other picture would. It would still be more compressed, but it wouldn't be as flat. And that way, over time, like as the next few days come up, as the air starts to touch it, it has more, the air can touch it quicker, and you could see that this volume come back to life. It'll dry out more and all that stuff. So it won't be like this right away. Eventually it'll get back to this, but it also won't be super flat like what we had seen in the picture.
Okay.
Yeah. So now with this, I'm just looking for more braids here if I can find them. So yeah, what for most of your hair, right? It's really like the perimeters is what is really looking like. It's the softest parts of your hair, or the parts that isn't as matted as the roots.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, how everyone's hair is. Some people like their perimeters are softer, the edges. Some people their middle parts are weaker, and just whatever. Everyone's hair is different, but the perimeter for most people is like softer, and so like this isn't as or this part isn't as for this to see what you hear might take a little bit longer than here, because this is just the perimeter. Sometimes it's weaker, sometimes it's just softer in texture, whatever it is. Maybe it hits water more often. It'll eventually get to this, but we just see the middle is doing the locking process faster. So what we can do, because as I'm looking at, let me grab you this mirror again so you can see. As I'm doing this and like going all through your hair, right, I can see these are like pretty, if I were to like take this and twist them, the size of these is like decently small, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. They're all have their own unique shape, but they're still decently small.
Yeah.
Now these ones on the perimeters here haven't necessarily done, you can see like they're not as locked as here. This is still loose curly hair, right? This is like your hair that hasn't twisted, hasn't formed or anything like that. So what's going on here and what's going on here, this is your hair in its original state. It hasn't quite did this process here. That's why we still see these parts. They look smaller, but it's just your curls that haven't clumped and did all this other stuff together. So if you like this size here that you have, and if you think this is still small and decent enough, what we could do is just kind of do like a soft like retwist for you. So that would mean like I wouldn't necessarily go through and like, what I would do is just kind of like part it out so that we can see your roots more clearly, and just still have this going on here, but I won't make it like super neat to where it's like super flat and doing all that stuff. I just want to be able to see the roots so that we can identify all these locked pieces here, right? Then we can create the locked pieces on these outside skirts so that eventually this can catch up to what this is doing in the middle here. We can still create this afro here, but obviously we're gonna, all this frizzy hair that's here, we're just gonna contain it. That's what we're gonna do here. So that way we could see more stuff going in. So when we're growing in and going to like the next month or two for growing it out, we can still have this afro here, but at least we know what's growing. We'll see the lock form more often now. So that's my suggestion if you like the size that's here. But if you see these like small curls that you have and you prefer them to be as small as this, then all this would have to go and we would have to start over. But I think personally this is a pretty decent small size for you. And over time, locks they don't get like significantly smaller in size, but they do kind of like condense, you feel me? And especially the longer they get, they kind of just get more compacted. So I think what we can do, since we're not making no drastic changes, is we can just clean this up.
Yeah.
We can just get so we can see your scalp, and we can start making real parts with these. So you could still have your freeform going on, but we just structure it now so that we can see this. And so the next time after you come back, or whatever you decide to do, you could just see, and the freeform is just more like formulated now. We can just see a root. And this won't be just the loose curls. Now this would actually be the lock that's doing its thing. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Okay? So I think that'd be good. That way we could still keep the same look that you're trying to go for, but just kind of shape it up for us. Because it's really, for most of your head, this middle section, all of this is really all locked. Or locking, should I say. Not completely locked, but it's all locking. And it's these hairs around here that are just curly. You just have your loose curls going on.
And when I get home, I could like use that crochet.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't personally do it, because if you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to create holes in your lock, because you would think you're just stabbing it, but it's an actual like you're supposed to turn the needle back and forth so that all you're doing is kind of looping the hair around it and not stabbing it. You could try it, but I mean, if you don't necessarily know what you're doing, I wouldn't want you to just start flipping your hair up. But it'll still do the same thing that you want to do. But that's why we're going to clean it up, so we can see that uniform shape coming in.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like I said too, we won't add like no gel or anything to it, because all that gel's going to do eventually is like clump it up, and you don't want that, especially if you're trying to freeform. But it's also just going to make it more neater. We don't want neatness necessarily. We just want a structure to our hair. So this is the rose water that I was talking about, right? This is what I had been using in everybody's hair for the last year or whatever time before I started making bottles for everybody to have. Rose water is just, have you ever heard of rose water before? Well, rose water is just literally regular water, but with roses in it. And roses have antioxidants and properties that kind of help aid in growth with the hair, and just like stimulating hydration. That's the biggest part that rose water has. It just makes your hair extra hydrated. So it's like water. I don't know if you've learned in biology or chemistry yet about the different chemical, that's chemistry, so the different chemical properties and them having charges and stuff like that. So regular water, H2O, has no charge to it, right? So if you're just drinking regular water, all it's doing is flushing your system. Then we have something like Gatorade, which they say is electrolytes, right? Electrolytes is like something that has a charge to it. So when you're drinking it, it sticks to the properties inside your bottle. So like if you ever taste your tears are salty, that's the sodium inside of your body that creates that salty taste to you, right? So we're all matter, right? They say your body's 70% water, whatnot. So you don't just have regular water flowing through you. You have water with all sorts of different chemicals and properties in your body as well. So you need things to stick to your body or the properties within your body, so that way they can cling and do what they're meant to do. But if you just have plain old water going in your body, all it's doing is just flushing things out. It's not sticking to anything necessarily. So then we have things like those electrolytes that cling and give you that extra power or that extra charge that you need. So rose water is just like a Gatorade in a sense. It's got electrolytes to it. So it's better than your average regular water that just doesn't have anything to it and it's just flushing. That's the benefits of it. So it's good for the hair because it has your follicles within your hair, pores, so that opens up and just brings in more hydration. It has these things called hydrocolants. They open up your pores, make you more hydrated. Or you could use it on your face because your face also has pores and the same skin and does the same thing, pulls out more hydration to the skin. Really good. You're like a plant, right? You can't water the leaves of a plant and expect the plant to grow. You have to water the roots. So when you water the roots, that's when you start seeing the growth. So your hair is like the leaves of a plant. You are the soil. So you have to feed yourself internally, right? Good water, good nutritional things. I mean, the water, the leaves is like your hair. So like water your leaves, but also got to water your roots. So what you're pouring on the inside, that's what's more important too. Just a little school for you, you know what I'm saying? We gotta make it connect somehow. Yeah. So do you do anything, do you add anything to your hair at all right now during the times? Or you just wake up and you just get up and go?
I like putting water on it and like some leave-in spray conditioner sometimes.
Okay. So that's good. At least it's getting some sort of moisture to it.
Should I be? Or should I put in?
One more time?
What's that put in?
No, that's good. I mean, water, I was just about to say, like, hair doesn't, less is always more, right? You don't ever need that much for your hair to thrive off of, right? You see, like, plant don't need much more than water and its little food that it gets if it needs food. But most of the time, water and sun is enough for it, right? So your hair is the same thing. Water and whatever food, water and whatever food that you take in. And food ain't just, you know what I'm saying, like the physical food that you eat, because that's important, right? Because this is your roots. Take care, eating the right foods is important too.
Yeah.
But it's hair. It's going to grow as long as you're growing on the inside too. So it's just like feeding yourself internally correctly the right things is what's important. But then when you start adding too many other things, your hair starts getting conditioned to just work with so many things. So if you have like a 10-step care routine for your hair, then your hair's only going to know how to operate off of the 10-step routine that you made for it. You know what I'm saying? It won't know how to get that perfect curl unless you add all 10 products to your hair for it to now give it that perfect curl. But if you've trained your hair now to only work off of 1 and 2 products, then your hair is growing off of just 1 and 2 products. So less is always more. So as long as you have some sort of liquid, some sort of thing to get it hydrated, that's always good. Water is important. You know that anyone or anything can't live without water, so that's the most important thing. And then food. The food necessarily doesn't have to be like food that you're eating, although that is important. What you feed yourself internally is good, but like hair food, you don't need much hair food. If your hair didn't come out the womb having grease attached to it or some sort of conditioner or whatever, imagine it probably won't need it as much even if you add it to your routine or anything like that. So some sort of liquid, your oils, just something to keep it moisturized. Everyone's hair texture is different. Everyone has different hair, so I don't recommend all the same things to every person. You kind of have to don't ever put yourself in a lane where you have to compare yourself to the next person or think that your timing is behind or in front, because you're exactly where you need to be at every single time. You know what I mean? Like, where you're at is the perfect place for you to be at. There's so many things that you have to learn in this current moment. There's so many things that you know what I'm saying, still have yet to experience and discover, that you're at the perfect age for it. You're always right on time where you need to be at. So don't ever think that, you feel me, time's passing you by. You're always going to be exactly where you need to be. Know that. But in the moments of where you're at, there's a lot for you to learn. There's a lot for you to pick up on. So while you're here, don't think about the wrong things like, okay, I need to be here, or I need to catch up, or I should have been doing this and third. No, in these moments, take and learn and see that, okay, where I'm at right now, I could capitalize off this, or I could, you feel me, I could take from this, or I could see like, okay, I'm looking at Juan, for example, and I'm seeing what he's doing, and I'm thinking, okay, I wish I would have did this at his age, but I'm at this age, so I can pick up on some knowledge that he's dropping, and I can move forward with that, you feel me, like,
Yeah.
just have that, for sure. But you're always right exactly where you need to be at, so don't ever think anything other than that. Yep, so with this, literally, like I said, all we're doing is literally just taking your hair and kind of just like cleaning up, and not even like cleanly doing this. We're literally just taking all this loose hair and kind of wrapping it around what we have so that we can just kind of move forward and have some sort of base to it now. So you could just see the locks clearly. Wrapping all that loose ends around what we already have. And then for the ones on the perimeter, I'm just kind of making them into the twist so that you can see them and they can start moving how the other ones are. Yeah, see, you're in the perfect place, perfect age. There's so many people around you who what's it called, have connects. You never know, like, you got friends or people around you, peers or whatever, who, you know what I'm saying, maybe they be thinking the same things, or they got their own creative endeavors and they just haven't even, like, the thought hasn't even come to them yet, or you feel me, you might be the inspiration for them to be like, oh, you know what, I'm finna, what, you inspired me to get this stuff going, because I was just too scared, or whatever, I didn't have to. Now you guys got buddies, and y'all are now helping each other with your creative endeavors, y'all are being inspiration to one another, and now you just got a gang of people, y'all are all on your creative waves, and just really about the shit. That's exactly what we need. I think we're really disconnecting from a time where time's changing, so people are becoming very disconnected to what the world is supposed to be about. We're just too caught up thinking this, that, and the third, and too deep in our phones, and just not really getting it. But we're at the perfect place, we're at the perfect time, we're doing the right thing. And especially for as young as you are, you're, like I'm saying, really good. It's really good for you. So keep that up. And whenever we start printing them, I'm gonna need me a copy of my shirt too. For sure that.
Gotcha.
We do it all. We're gonna support it. Like I said, we got one of my other clients. I got a song in my video. We're talking about this now. People don't know what influence is, but soon, like, they heard it here first. Like, influence was the brand, and that's where it started. We're gonna see, and then it's gonna be a day where, like, oh damn, they're gonna be seeing it. Like, wow, actually seeing it. Right now, they're hearing about it. Then they're gonna be seeing it. And you gotta be the first person to rep your own brand, literally. So you gotta find a way soon enough to, like, get that. Even if it's you just getting shirts from Walmart or Dollar Tree, and literally just finding a way for you to get that stuff pressed on so it can be seen. So that way then you can learn what that looks like, how that process goes, for you then to now get into manufacturing and see how manufacturers go and how they operate and how they process. Great, but I mean, you're going to take baby steps, you're going to figure out all different ways. So that's what I'm saying, this is here, so this could be a practice for you to, like, you know what I'm saying, see how that looks, see how that turns out. So, like, okay, if it ever came down to a day where, like, damn, you couldn't get, you know, manufacturer, whatever, you know how to put things on the t-shirt press, you know how to use the digital printer and get that moving, and how to start from somewhere and start repping that brand, let it be seen, let it be known. Before this school year, I got homework assignment for you. Before the school year is over, need to see a physical copy of that shirt out and about. Most definitely. That is a requirement. You cannot come to this chair unless I'm knowing that you got progress coming with this. I'm so serious. Now. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not just no average hairstylist. I'm not here to just sit and just do hair. We're here to speak life into people. We talk about this shit, we get it rolling. Like, I'm here to inspire. We all got shit we're supposed to be doing on this earth here, so let's get to it. You know? Came to this show, you got no idea. You be sitting down and be discussing what your future holds for you. Here you are. Hope you're ready, because it's coming. There's a lot of 16-year-olds who would have no idea what to do with this shit if you gave it to them right now. They wouldn't even know how to process this information. Their mind wouldn't even, they'd be so confused just hearing this type of talk. They would be like, bro, like, what? I have homework to do. Like, what are you guys talking about? You're ahead of your youth right now. They're not thinking about their futures. You're already on the path to freedom. Didn't we?
Yeah.
You better start reading up. You better start watching the videos. You better start taking notes, see what they talking about. Before you start counting yourself out, start counting yourself in. Before you got enough money to make that shit happen, start doing it on with a $30 budget. Walmart was the only product you had. A local presser that you got from your hairstylist. What? Come on now. That's with no money. So imagine what you can do with money to your name. Yeah. There's so much. I'm telling you. How do you think the most successful people became where they are? They were literally at one point his poor broke. They had actually nothing to their name. They didn't have the shit going on. They didn't what it took for them to be hungry. They were starving. That creativity inside of them was just raging. They had to add fuel to their fire. And they got that shit rolling. Oh, look at them now.
So your brother does like videos, pictures?
Yep, so he does, he still is, he makes YouTube content, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he was fresh in like college or straight out of high school, he started doing like the interview type thingies, going up to people and just asking a question, that type of content or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he's had a bunch of those from like after high school. He was sitting on hella of those. So I think he had then found an editor to kind of like be editing the content for him. So he started with like it was doing himself, and then I think maybe at the time he was going to school or whatever, I don't remember, but it was just too much for him. So then he found a way for someone else to edit it for him, right? So he's been sitting on a bunch of that content, right? But he's just been kind of like holding it and just kind of like making it, working his way up, right? Just like stacking it up so like he could have it so that he could just slowly flood stuff or whatever. But then he started transitioning into like, and I think he's getting back into his content, but now he's kind of just like, it's like he kind of found himself, you know what I'm saying, rebranded. So now he's kind of like doing more so like production, and there's inspiration behind it too, where we have a friend where he's kind of like, the inspiration came from someone that we knew close by that passed away, and so he had his own creative lifestyle that he lived, and so from his death I think that also sparked up my brother's inspiration to carry on his kind of legacy and turn that into what he already does. So like it went from making content to now kind of producing content and being like a management of like, you know what I'm saying, life through that lens or whatever. So now today, where I was supposed to meet up with him or whatever, but he's gonna go meet with another cameraman or something like that, and they're gonna try to talk about like how he can get into like doing that with other people's brands and businesses, and kind of something sort of like a production, I would say, a company, like, something along, I don't know how else to put it, but something along like it's production for other people. Same thing, but it's just like when I was putting into words for him, like marketing for brands, like literally is kind of like the best way I can put it. Like he's gone into now, he's found a deeper path with it, and it's making content, not necessarily, he will do like cinematic, you ever heard of cinematic content and stuff like that? Yeah. So just taking videos and producing that and like, stuff like that. He just won't do, he said the only thing he won't do is music videos, but like cinematography,
I want to do something like that, like cinematography.
Yep, and I know some people who do stuff like that too, like kind of vlog, but like a certain style of things, you feel me? So, yep, you can go through there's a lot of people, so I'll show you, but yeah, stuff like that. So, and today, like he just got, I don't know if you know anything about cameras, but he was playing with this camera that he just got out last night, and just kind of testing that out, seeing how that new footage looks, or just how he was kind of playing with the lens and doing the cinematography thing with that one last night. So that's where he's at. Now he just kind of wants to like open it up and kind of really put that out there, because he's been behind the scenes learning and doing the work with that, then his own brand. And so now he's kind of opening up a new brand, and the new brand is like promoting or like just record. It's the same recording but for other people now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so having people's brands and like shooting commercials. So like I have this business, so I eventually would want to him to make me like do a little commercial or do a little promo video or whatever it is, so something like that.
Yeah.
So that's where he went to go meet up with someone today to talk about that. And I can send you his page too. I mean, his page don't have nothing on it right now, but oh, I think he has another Instagram too where I'll send you all that stuff, doing what that looked like.
I've been hearing like people like, or I don't even know his name, but Quan friend, like he dropped too, and then like he just like he was like around my age too, and he's like sold out like from like word of mouth, like hustling. So I don't know, like maybe I could like make business cards, it's like pass it out of school or something.
Literally. Literally, and there's so many ways to go about it. Like you don't even have to start off by going to like no. I mean, eventually you can get there, but like you could start things off with Canva. You could literally, you've ever heard of Canva? Literally go through Canva and make copies of like your business cards, print them off at the school, whatever. That's if you're working with I think it's so best to start off with like the lowest, like, you know, zero budget. See how creative you can get with literally not having nothing to add to it. And then once you finally see how that works, you learn from what you do in that process. Once you finally get up to that point, now when you add money to the equation, now you can upskill yourself from everything that you done learned. Or you learned how to make business cards off of Canva. You learned what your design should look like. You learned what works best, what attracts people's, you know what I'm saying, eyes, what sells them, how the quality of the paper, all sorts of things. And these same skill sets, the same lessons that you're learning from that will transpire into clothing. Now it'll tell you what you know what I'm saying, material people like, or how you like certain designs printed on this and that. It's all a learning process. But start off at the bottom, you feel me? Like start off by literally just going and get that shirt from what Walmart, pressing it on, just seeing what that looks like, prepping that, just having it so people can see it. You work your way, and every single time, the one thing about it, I don't know if you have a belief system or you believe in anything. Yeah. One thing about it, okay, one thing about it, how it works, God will always, you gotta do the work. God will always meet you where you at. So God ain't waiting for you to, like, you know what I'm saying, be perfect or do, you know what I'm saying, have it all together, figured out. No, that was never it. You just gotta do what you gotta do first. And as long as you keep doing, God's gonna meet you where you gonna be at. So you get the start and you get the whatever, just, we gonna see the hustle, and you going to wherever it's at, getting this, the bare minimum. If it costs you $5 to put in production, oh cool, he's gonna match that. Now I got $10 to give you, so now you could add $10 to the business, and now I can see what you do with $10. You did it with $5. Now let me see what you can do with $50. You did it with $50. Now I give you $1,000 budgets, because now I can see you know how to manage your money, you know how to make something work. I gave you what they say, I give you lemons, and you made lemonade. Okay. You just gotta put it out there. You gotta do something. You feel me? You have to preach today, so I don't know if you were ready for it, but I tell you, there's a reason why people come to me. I don't want to be doing hair for nothing. Her godmother up to me, she's like, I really want to speak some shit to you today. Not everybody's wise enough to hear, but if you come sit in this chair, there is something in you that can hear. Whether you hear it all the way, whether your ears are still a little dirty, you just need to clean them out, but you can hear me and you pass it. You're equipped enough to hear something, and it'll hit you when it needs to hit you. But yeah, from here, I believe in divine interventions. So when grandma came over here today, she knew what she was doing. That part. She ain't know, but she knew. You got that tool today? Not knowing, but you know. I met you. I'm excited for this journey. I can't wait till I get my copy. Can't wait till we start seeing it. Working it on the streets. You ever heard of Skin Tones? The brand Skin Tones at all? That's a brand that we have here in Minnesota. It's very popular now. There's this boy, damn, I'm forgetting his name. Antoine. His name is Antoine. He has a brand called Skin Tones. I think Antoine's just like a year or 2 years older than me. But I remember when he was doing this brand, like we were in high school and he just used to, whether it was he was doing it on the shoes, I think he used to color shoes or paint. He does paintings or something like that. I tell you the YouTube page too? I tell you the YouTube page?
Nah.
It's the same thing, Unique by Monique too. So when I'm done, I'm gonna get this, you're gonna be on there too. And the TikTok, so make sure you follow all of it. I think I'm